Van der Valk wanted to ask Wilders some questions about his financial backers.
Meneer Wilders, u wilt vragen?
Van Dijk moet je hebben.
But Freedom Party MP Toon van Dijk didn't want to talk to him either. Looking up Geert Wilders and Israel on the internet, Van der Valk finds over 500,000 references. In his early political career, Wilders was a member of the VVD's foreign desk and specialized in Israel. He would visit their embassy in The Hague on numerous occasions. Such was the regularity of these visits that they aroused suspicion. According to the widely read magazine Vrij Nederland, a high-ranking officer in the Dutch Foreign Affairs Department was also concerned that Wilders was constantly asking very detailed questions regarding relations with Israel. In the article, the employee states, "Even though we couldn't prove it, it was obvious that Wilders was being informed by the Israeli embassy." Wilders makes no secret of his great affection for Israel and its people. He has a Jewish grandmother. He married a Hungarian Jewish diplomat and spent time living and working in the Holy Land in his youth. Wilders has admirers in Israel, and he's had access to some of the country's leading politicians, even though his views put him well to the right of some of them. The main foreign policy commitments of his party also centre on that country. Wilders believes that the Jewish state is the last line of defence in the war against Europe's Islamization. If Jerusalem falls, Athens and Rome are next, he epically predicts. In his party programme, Wilders states that Jordan should become Palestine, a home for the 1 million Palestinians currently living in Israel.
I lived some years in this beautiful country and in the city Jerusalem, and I visited Israel more times than I can count. Israel, the only country in the region with a functioning parliament, with a rule of law, and with free election. The only country in the whole region that shares our values of our Western societies. In fact, is one of the foundations of our Judeo-Christian identity.
In December 2008, Wilders attended a conference in Jerusalem called Facing Jihad.
And we are here today to voice our concern of the growing Islamization of the West. We do it.
Several members of his international network, such as Pamela Geller, are attending.
But what we have to fear most is the creeping Islamization, the stealth jihad. Because every Islamic neighborhood is regarded by many Muslims as building blocks towards a larger goal, and that goal is domination.
I think that he has taken and embraced the idea of modern Zionism. And he's using the platform of modern Zionism to espouse the same concepts about Muslims in the world and the Quran that the Jews cannot afford to say in Israel. But Mr. Wilders can do them a favor and do what? He can go outside of Israel with those same feelings, and then he can characterize, okay, the way that the Zionists characterize the Palestinians to legitimize their power. Mr. Wilders can characterize Islam in the same way, and this is what's taking place.
Van der Valk travels to the Holy Land, where many Israelis would take issue with Wilders' ideas. But how much influence has Israel had on him? His Israeli friend Azaf drives him towards the Jordanian border.
This is over there is Kfar Tapuach, one of the most the extremist settlements here.
After finishing school, the young Wilders lived here in an Israeli farming community called a moshav. His early exposure to the Jewish state, its people and its worldview were to have a profound effect on him and would help shape his politics. Moshav Tomer is an oasis within barren desert land. This is where, in his 20s, Wilders lived for more than a year, fenced off from the Palestinian villages close by. This is the only photo of Wilders from that period that Van der Valk could find.
But that's definitely Geert.
Definitely.
He didn't blonde his
Look
hair.
how dark, yeah, his hair is so dark here in comparison to what it is today. He was a very nice guy. I remember him very nice. And then he came back here a few times. He had come to visit. I had seen him here a few times. And he normally came with other people because he was showing them around, apparently. Person doesn't come back because he's not been touched by something.
Van der Valk's journey follows Route 443. All exits to Palestinian villages are closed. They continue via Jerusalem to the occupied territories on the West Bank. Here, in a settlement called Kfar Adumin, Van der Valk meets another man that has been a great inspiration to Wilders, Aryeh Eldat, an Israeli MP. Like Wilders, Eldat has his own rather extreme solution to the problems of the region, that the State of Israel should remain exclusively Jewish and neighbouring Jordan should be the home of the Palestinians.
We were sitting here discussing the plan Jordan is Palestine.
And is this how you convince him, how you think?
I didn't think I have to convince him. I thought he's very well familiar with the plan, and I think he realized that maybe the only realistic plan to assure stable situation in the Middle East, where Israel is safe and the Palestinians will find a national state to fulfill their national ambitions.
This is the balcony where Wilders and Eldad used to discuss solutions to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Everywhere east to the Jordan River, and it's a huge space, 90,000 square kilometers with very small population. The desert area is really empty, and if you bring water, you can build cities and bring a lot of people to them.
Dispatching Palestinians to the deserts of Jordan and reclaiming the West Bank for Israelis is a radical concept that doesn't receive much mainstream political support. But it's an idea that appeals to Wilders. Van der Valk finishes his trip in Hebron. 500 Jews live behind heavy fences in the city centre, surrounded by 160,000 Palestinians. This is the most physical example of how badly a clash of religions can divide people. Back in Holland, Wilders is in the middle of his trial, charged with incitement to hatred. There is tension in the air. The English Defence League has come to Amsterdam to support the leader of the Freedom Party, currently in the dock.
Militants to threats of violence. As you can see today, the English Defence League are here. We've come here today to have our voices heard. Militant Islam is not a European problem, it's not an English problem, it's not an American problem. It is a worldwide problem. And we are part of a European Union. We will unite with groups across Europe. We will stand united as a united front against Islamism and Islamists. In Holland, you're very lucky to have Geert Wilders. Geert Wilders defends freedom, and we support him 100%. We send a clear message to Islamists and Islamism. Get the hell out of Europe now, because Europe will never surrender to Islamism. God save our Queen. God save every single troop who is serving for their country, whether it be in England or in Europe. God bless them, bring them home safely and guide over them, and oppose militant Islam wherever it raises its ugly medieval head.
On the other side of the city, the left wing has organised a counter-demonstration.
Martin Smith!
Hosting Martin Smith, leader of Britain's Unite Against Fascism.
We come today from England and we're proud. We are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with all our Dutch friends, because there are dark clouds developing over Europe. We have Geert Wilders in Holland attacking Muslims. We have Jobbik in Hungary attacking the Roma. And we have the English Defence League attacking Muslims in Britain. It's time to send them packing. And we end every demonstration with a very simple slogan. I'm sorry, I do not speak Dutch. I apologise for that profusely. But our slogan, and I'm going to adopt it slightly different for here, should be this: Smash Geert Wilders, the EDL. Smash Geert Wilders. Thank you very much. Solidarity and greetings.
Martin Smith, thank you so much for joining us here. All the people from England, United Against Fascism, thank you so much for joining us here.
In the 2010 national elections, almost 16% of voters supported Wilders and his Freedom Party. The results exceed all expectations. Wilders' party went from 9 to 24 people in parliament. He now has real influence over the coalition government.
Minder immigratie en minder islam is waarvoor Nederland voor kiest.
Holland, a country renowned for its tolerance, has entered a new era. 1.5 million people voted for a man who wants to ban the holy book of 1.5 billion Muslims.
If we allow people like Mr. Wilders and other fascists and racists to continue demonizing the Muslim community, God forbid, do we really want to be in a similar situation? Have we not learned anything from the terrible tragedy of the Holocaust? Was the cry of Europe not never again? If that was our cry then, why are we allowing this kind of hatred to be peddled and to be promoted within our society? Should we not be standing up to such people?
Whatever happens in the court case, Holland is in a no-win situation. If Wilders is found guilty, what will that mean for freedom of speech? And if he's acquitted, will the Netherlands have officially sanctioned the freedom to attack Islam in the most vitriolic terms? A thought Van der Valk might have put to Wilders on election night.
Meneer Wilders, wat vindt u van het resultaat vandaag?
Ik ga naar de zaal.
Wilt u niet, meneer, wat vindt u van het resultaat?
If he'd been able to speak to him.
Ja, wilt u weer niet met ons praten?